What the hell is this?
I now own all 56 homes.
Imagine traveling overseas for nearly a year, working, grinding, counting down the days until you can finally come home for Christmas, only to return and find 56 houses standing on the land your family owned for generations. That's exactly what happened to DeShawn Reddick. And the woman behind it all, the HOA president named Monica Alder, thought she had played the perfect game. She had no idea she'd walked straight into a legal trap that was written a generation before she was even born. DeShawn Reddick, a black man, spent 11 months overseas, 11 long months of hotel rooms, airports, delayed flights, and back-to-back contracts. The only thing that kept him grounded was the thought of coming home for Christmas. His family's 30 acres, the Hale family reserve, had always been his place of peace. Quiet, untouched. A piece of land passed down through generations, his grandfather's pride, his father's legacy, and now his responsibility to protect. So when DeShawn turned off the highway that cold December morning, tired but excited to finally breathe his own air again, he never expected to feel the world tilt beneath his feet. For a moment, DeShawn thought he'd taken the wrong road. Rows of roofs rose over the tree line, fresh paint, paved driveways, porch lights glowing like a brand new suburb that hadn't existed when he left the country. He slowed the car, blinked hard, and whispered to himself, no way. 56 houses. 56 brand new homes were sitting exactly where his family's land was supposed to be. DeShawn pulled over, stepped out into the cold, and stood there in complete disbelief. He had grown up on this soil. He knew every ridge, every fence line, every old oak tree. But staring at those houses, it felt like someone had wiped his history off the map. Confusion hit first, then disbelief, then the kind of shock that tightens the chest and steals the breath away. DeShawn checked the GPS, checked the road signs, checked the mailboxes. Everything was correct. He was home. And somehow he was standing in the middle of what looked like a fully developed subdivision, Brookline Meadows, on 30 acres that should have been locked, empty, and waiting for him. He made calls, county office, zoning department, assessor, each one pushing him to someone else who might know more. Hours later, someone finally gave him a contact, Monica Alder, HOA president, Stonebrook Development Group. When she picked up, her voice was smooth, confident. Yes, this is Monica. Who is this? DeShawn explained the situation calmly, that the land belonged to his family, that he'd been gone for work, and that he'd come home to find 56 homes built on it. Her response chilled him. Oh, that land? It was abandoned. The previous owner signed everything over last year. We followed all legal procedures. DeShawn's pulse kicked. What previous owner? I am the owner. Well, Monica said lightly, someone signed. We have the documents. Her tone made one thing clear. Monica thought she had won something. And DeShawn suddenly realized his fight for the truth had only just begun. Have you ever come home expecting peace, only to find your entire life stolen right out from under you? What would you do if 56 houses were suddenly sitting on land your family owned for generations? Before we go further, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. And if you believe real justice never misses its target, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc. Because standing up to fraud and corruption starts with telling these stories. DeShawn didn't wait until the next morning. The moment he ended the call with Monica, he drove straight toward the new development, passing the rows of freshly built houses that sat on soil his family had owned for generations. Every step he took across those unfamiliar sidewalks felt like trespassing on his own life. By the time he reached the temporary HOA office, the Stonebrook Field Operations Center, the rage wasn't loud. It was cold, steady, and sharpened by disbelief. Monica greeted him with a smile that didn't match the situation. Her posture held the confidence of someone who believed the ground under her feet belonged to her. She gestured toward a table stacked neatly with binders and printouts, as though she had been preparing for this confrontation long before DeShawn ever arrived. You're DeShawn, correct? She asked, voice light, almost amused. I've gathered the documents our team used. Everything should be clear once you see them. DeShawn kept his expression calm. Show me. Monica slid a binder forward. Inside were signatures, dates, approval forms, zoning releases. Each page stamped, signed, and presented like irrefutable truth. DeShawn's eyes narrowed when he saw his own name written in handwriting that wasn't his. The signature looked practiced, but wrong. Too rounded, too smooth. "That's not mine," DeShawn said quietly. Monica tilted her head. "It's what you submitted." The quietness in her tone was worse than shouting. It was the confidence of someone who believed the world would take her word over his. DeShawn pulled out the original deed and documentation he had brought from his safe at home. He placed them on the table. "This land has never been sold, never transferred. My family has owned this since the early 1900s. Your paperwork is fake." Monica didn't even glance at it. "Your documents look outdated. Things change. Owners change. Records change." Because DeShawn was black, her dismissal cut deeper than the words she used. She spoke to him like he was the intruder, the problem, the outsider trying to claim what wasn't his. Two men from her legal team, Victor Hall and Raymond Becker, stepped closer, arms folded, already sizing him up as the one in the wrong. One of them opened another binder, flipping to photographs. "These are the construction logs," he said. "As you can see, this land was marked abandoned. We have backdated progress photos, security footage, everything." DeShawn stared at the images. The timestamps were perfect. Too perfect. The footage looked clean. Too clean. Something wasn't right. Monica folded her arms. "DeShawn, everything has been verified. You're standing on property that legally belongs to Stonebrook Development Group." But DeShawn knew, deep down, that this wasn't incompetence. This was a setup, a meticulously built lie, and someone had gone to extremes to make it look real. That night, DeShawn sat in his father's old study, the room lit only by a single lamp and the pale winter moon cutting through the window. The binders Monica showed him kept replaying in his mind, the forged signature, the suspicious timestamps, the unnaturally perfect paper trail. Nothing added up. Someone hadn't just stolen his land. Someone had engineered the theft down to the last pixel and pen stroke. He opened the cedar box that had belonged to his grandfather, Leonard Hale, the one that held every deed, every tax record, every handwritten note tied to the 30 acres. DeShawn flipped through each page slowly, carefully. The more he read, the more he remembered something his grandfather once said when he was a boy. "Never assume land is safe just because your name is on it. Protect it in writing and protect it in law." 2 hours passed as DeShawn searched, page after page. Then he found it. A clause, handwritten in old ink tucked deep inside the original deed, one he had never noticed, and one Monica's legal team clearly hadn't expected. The wording was old-fashioned, but the meaning hit him like a jolt. Anyone who builds on the land without written permission automatically forfeits every building, structure, and improvement to the rightful landowner. No compensation, no negotiation, no exceptions. DeShawn froze. Every one of those 56 homes, every foundation, every nail, legally belonged to him. He read it again. Then again, slower, making sure exhaustion hadn't blurred the words into wishful thinking. But no, the clause was real, recorded, and still legally binding. In the morning, DeShawn drove straight to his attorney, Samuel Pierce, a man who had worked with his father years ago. When Pierce finished examining the deed, his eyebrows raised, then slowly climbed higher. "DeShawn, this clause is ironclad," Pierce said quietly. "It was properly recorded. It was never revoked. It predates modern zoning statutes. Legally speaking, those 56 homes are already yours." DeShawn exhaled slowly, the weight shifting on his shoulders, not disappearing, but changing. Pierce tapped the page. "You don't need to stop anything now. They've already built everything, and every completed structure is already yours. Monica still thinks she won, but she doesn't realize she handed you all 56 homes herself." Those words stayed with him. Let her think she won. Let her believe the theft was complete. She had no idea she'd already built her own downfall. By the time DeShawn called Monica with a meeting request, she arrived wearing that same confident smirk, expecting him to fold again. She had no idea what was waiting for her. Monica stepped out of her SUV with the swagger of someone who believed the world already belonged to her. The smile she wore was victorious, sharp, and dripping with the certainty that DeShawn had finally come to accept defeat. She didn't bother with a greeting. She simply folded her arms, waiting for him to crumble. DeShawn didn't say a word at first. He carefully opened his folder, pulled out the deed, and placed the page with the handwritten clause directly in Monica's line of sight. Her smirk didn't fade immediately. It twitched just a little before confusion settled into her features. "What's this supposed to be?" she asked. DeShawn kept his tone steady. "This is the original deed, the real one. The one your forged documents tried to replace." Monica skimmed the paragraph and the color drained from her face. First pale, then red, then something close to gray. Her throat bobbed as she read the clause again, realizing what it meant even before he said it aloud. "Every structure built on this land without written consent," DeShawn said quietly, "belongs to the rightful landowner. That means all 56 homes, every driveway, every inch of your development belongs to me." Her voice cracked. This is fake. This can't be real." "Call your attorney," DeShawn replied calmly. "Ask them to verify it. And while you're at it, ask who signed the forged transfer papers. Ask who hacked the security logs. Ask who backdated the construction files. Because when this goes to the police, it won't just be your signature under investigation." Monica stepped back like the ground had shifted beneath her. For the first time, she wasn't the one holding the power. Her legal team, Victor Hall and Raymond Becker, rushed over, grabbing the deed, flipping through each page with trembling hands. DeShawn didn't have to say anything. They understood the disaster instantly. Before the day ended, DeShawn walked into the Redmont Valley Police Bureau with the original deed, his documentation, and Pierce's legal confirmation. The officers didn't hesitate. A full investigation opened within hours. And what followed was the unraveling of everything Monica had built. The forged signature, the faked notary certification, the altered zoning permits, the manipulated county records, the deleted surveillance files, the backdated construction photos. One by one, every lie was exposed. Arrests followed. Monica, her legal collaborators, and every accomplice who tried to profit from the scheme. The charges stacked high: fraud, forgery, tampering with public records, wire manipulation, theft by deception. And when the dust finally settled, the truth was undeniable. DeShawn became the rightful owner of all 56 homes. Every structure, every lot, every inch, Monica tried to steal. Justice wasn't loud, it wasn't rushed. It was delivered precisely the way it was written a generation ago. If you believe no amount of forgery can bury the truth forever, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc for more stories where justice catches up, no matter how long it takes.